last time I saw our next guest, she was right in the heat of the action in the Indianapolis 500 pits. Welcome back to Get Connected. I'm your host, Con Jackson. I'm talking about the amazing Brienne. She can get an interview with anyone, even if those hostile drivers are all worked up. She's in there with her smile and really gets a great interview. Well, she's an auto expert. We're going to ask her about car racing and even how she finds time to save money on the road. We can all do that. Brienne, welcome.
Hi, Con.
Hey, Brienne, it's a treasure talking to you. I'm a huge race car driver. I'm just curious, how did you find yourselves reporting from the pits at Indy?
Well, I was actually an Indy car. No fenders for me. But I grew up around cars. My dad was a car dealer, and I just kind of stumbled into it. It was a great time, and I got to spend a lot of my Memorial Day weekends at the Indianapolis 500 for ESPN. So that's a pretty cool place to be.
Cool is so right. I love being in the stands, but tell me about the sound of the race from the pits.
There's especially at the Indianapolis 500, there's no place like that, and it's packed with more people than you'll ever see in one place at one time. There's so much hoopla and celebration before the race even begins, but when those engines start, when they get ready to drop the green flag, I mean, there's nothing like it.
Well, are you surprised by, I guess I should say, all the hoopla that Danica Patrick attracts?
I'm actually not surprised because I think she's changed females' perceptions of motorsports, and she's been a huge, a good thing for both IndyCar and NASCAR. She's got so many fans. She's like the second most recognizable female athlete in the world. That's huge. So just her popularity alone, just being at the track, that brings more attention, more fans, more audience, and that's always a good thing for the sport.
Well, like Danica, I know, Brienne, you love speed. So how did you get behind this campaign to save money at the pump?
Well, you know, it all kind of goes hand in hand for me. You want durability, you want speed, but fuel prices are crazy, and we all want to save some money. But there's some new tips and some things that I'm going to talk to you about today that will hopefully keep you safe and save money, but are also good for the environment, which is a great thing as well.
Well, you're a natural on camera. That was a perfect segue into a segment we call Show and Tell. So what tips do you have for us?
So for every 5 miles an hour you drive over 60, you might as well be paying 31 cents more per gallon for gas. Ouch, right? Nobody wants to do that. So my first tip is obvious, slow down. But you also can do things like avoid heavy braking and roll your windows up. I know it's tempting this time of year to keep them down, but doing so makes the car get more turbulence, and that's eventually going to cost you in fuel as well. But what I want to talk about today is you may not think about what your car is made of has a huge impact on fuel efficiency, which is why virtually every auto manufacturer today has made plans to increase the amount of aluminum in their cars. It lowers the mass of the vehicle, which makes it more fuel efficient. And aluminum actually right now is the second most used material in cars. But as new cars and new models roll off the lines, we're going to see more and more aluminum in those because it really does have that big of an impact on fuel consumption, which is great to know if you happen to be in the market for a new vehicle. We're going to start seeing things like these kind of alloy wheels. They're lower in mass than a steel wheel, so they give you better mileage, lower your trip cost, and they look pretty cool. Already today, about 30% of all the hoods that are made in America are aluminum. This one right here is from a Buick Enclave. They're lighter weight. They help with the weight balance of your car. Again, getting back to fuel efficiency. But not only is aluminum a fuel saver, it's incredibly durable and crash absorbent. So if, God forbid, you happen to be in an accident, your aluminum parts in the car can absorb so much of that impact, keeping you and your family safer. In fact, it's not just the cars that you and I might be driving that are using more aluminum. The United States Army actually uses aluminum in their Bradley fighting vehicles, and we all know that they would certainly want something that's rough and tough. And I think you'll get a sense of what I'm talking about in terms of durability from this clip here. We took a aluminum control arm like this one right here, and we tried to do everything we could think of to this. We put it through the ringer, and we just couldn't damage it. It's perfect condition. But the thing that I really love is that aluminum is sustainable. For me, in my home, being green is a really big deal. So I love that this is recyclable infinitely. And that means that you can do it over and over again, and it doesn't lose quality each time. Aluminum's not going to rust, so it'll last the lifetime of your vehicle and likely longer. Almost 75% of all the aluminum produced in the last 125 years is still being used today, which is pretty cool. But you need to remember that when your car is more fuel efficient, you get fewer tailpipe emissions, lower greenhouse gases, so it's really a win-win for the environment and for your wallet.
Well, we certainly all love win-win. I've got to ask you, how many people get a job like you trying to destroy things?
I know, right? I think there's very few things that you can say that about. I know they say you can't break a diamond, but I don't think I'd want to do the same test with that as we did with this control arm. But you can find out so much more about aluminum. Any questions you might have, facts you might want to know, just go to aluminum.org. It's all right there for you.
Brienne, you crack me up. As we wrap things up, you've taken a non-traditional path and found a lot of success. What kind of things were said to you along your path that were wrong that you just said, you know what, I'm not going to listen to that?
Well, I don't know if I would say I was given wrong advice any time in my life. I think you learn from any advice you're given. Certainly you learn what to take and what to maybe go, okay, that's your opinion, I know better, I'm going to do better. But I think one of the best things that anyone's ever told me is, you know, when you're prepared and you've done all the work that you can do, then there is no happenstance. You know, luck favors the prepared, and there's nothing that beats hard work. So when you do your homework, when you do what you're supposed to do to get better in whatever field you're in, I think success will come to you.
Well, Brienne, first and foremost, you deserve that success. Congratulations, and we'll look forward to checking you out at the next big race.
Thanks, guys.
Well, we all love to save money from the pumps. Man, have you seen those prices? But now I'm going to have to drive slower so I can save more money. Whew, that's going to be hard to do. Now, when we come back, there's one way you can go super fast and not get a ticket. It's called the Master Blaster, and we'll find out what that is next.
It's a water coaster, which means not only does it go downhill like a traditional water slide, but we use high velocity jets of water to rocket you back up like a roller coaster.
So glad you got to check out that clip. But listen, we've got plenty more going on here at Get Connected, our TV show. My friend and I are going to give you a glimpse of all the fun, so take it away.
The sun shines bright as it moves across my face. I feel the light and everything is in its place. Oh, I woke up feeling great. Today was made for me. And life is good the way it should, the way it was meant to be.
Well, join us and we'll get you in the know. Check us out at Get Connected at contv.com and be part of the movement.